Now that we're done with our partial right side, let's work on our partial auxiliary view, and then we'll go back and fill in what's missing from our front view. So for starters, we're going to set up our auxiliary reference, which is going to be spaced out from here. So we're going to need something to offset from. So I'm going to create a construction line that goes through this corner and this point here, because I'm going to offset this whatever distance I want to set up my auxiliary view. So I'll offset this, and I'll just make the offset distance 1.25 inches just to keep it consistent, the spacing between the views for the auxiliary view as well. Now, sometimes you want to make this more, depends on the situation. Sometimes if you have a top view as well, you don't leave out one of the views. You want to space out the auxiliary view more. It really depends on the situation, but you could just use 1.25 as your default distance, but when it doesn't fit or you don't think it'll fit, use something else. And then I'm going to offset this again by our depth, which if we remember from the last video is 3 inches. And now what we need to do is we need to set up kind of like the height of this thing. And that's going to go from this corner here to this corner here. We're going to need to project basically all of the features that go in this direction from this little slot here. So what we're going to need to do is draw a perpendicular construction line. Now, if we go to construction line, there's a perpendicular construction line option, not this one here where it's 2 points, this one where it's construction line perpendicular to a line. So you select the line you want to be perpendicular to, and then you select points that you want it to run through. And I really like this because you can kind of go through and select all of them at once. It's you don't need to keep pressing it and keep going back to construction line. So it's set everything up for us. Now let's draw in some lines for this bottom section, because the bottom section is pretty straightforward. Draw a line here. And then this one here, that's going to represent our hidden line. If you recall from Ms. Dillon's lesson, that's our hidden line. That's coming off of our front view. That's for this corner here, for this edge down here. So we're going to right click, go to properties, and change that line type to be hidden. Line done, we should go through and include the circles that are going to be up here and the lines that are going to extend to them. So if we look, the distance for this center line is 1 1/8 up. So let's offset line A from here, construction line. So that's going to be our center line here. Now we need to figure out where this one is. So if we look, the dimension is going to be down here, all the way down here. 13/16 from this edge and this edge. So plus 11/16. So 13/16 plus 11/16 is 24/16. So we're going to offset by 24/16. And then we'll draw a circle here. And we'll draw it all the way up here. And if we did everything right, that should be 1 1/8, which it is. Good. And we're going to have that other circle. And let's see what the dimension is for that. It doesn't give it to us here in the isometric, but if we go back to our front view, it does give it to us here. It's going to be 1 1/4 in diameter, so that's 5/4, or the radius will be 5/8. So we have our hole set up. Now we need to include the lines that go here and the and trim some stuff away. So the question is, where do these lines extend to? It looks like what we have left is actually 1/4 of a circle, not a half. So when we draw our lines, we're going to draw them to the edge of a quadrant here. So this, it's almost like it's a tangent. Yeah. So you're going to get this tangent pop up. Make sure your OSNAP settings are correct. The tangent is one of your options. And we're going to draw a line here from this point to this tangent. And then the same thing on the other side, from this point to the tangent. And then when we trim, this kind of looks like a spaceship. When we trim, we'll select these two lines here, hit enter, and select that bottom piece. And now we've taken care of the auxiliary view. Check back with Ms. Dillons and see what we're missing. We're still missing our center mark. So let's go and add it. Let's go and add that center mark. So center mark, I have to spell center properly. Center mark. We're close enough. Whatever. And you need to make sure you select the outer circle because we want our center lines to extend past the outer circle. And what will happen is this center mark will be at the wrong angle. We want it to be rotated. So what we're going to actually use is that rotate command we mentioned earlier. So we're going to hit rotate and select the center mark. For our base point, we'll select the center here. And our angle of rotation will be 45 degrees. We did everything right. Looks a little bit off here. Oh, it looks like our center mark's in the wrong place. That's really odd. Let's delete that guy and try again. Center mark. Include it. Okay. It must have been, we must have made the rotation, our angle of rotation, our base point in the wrong spot. So let's make sure we're selecting here. And then it should be clicking here. Everything should work now. Okay, that looks much better. So be careful, make sure your center mark is rotated properly when you do something like this. So I've rotated my center mark 45 degrees. Just to recap that, let me do it one more time because this is a little bit new. Center mark, select the outermost one so that our center lines extend far enough. Then we rotate, select the center mark, hit enter, zoom in, make sure we're selecting proper thing, and we can just click on one of these lines and it should rotate the right amount. Great. Now let's add our hidden lines to our right side view, not our right side view, our front view, starting with the ones for the slot here. So we'll add horizontal ones here, and we'll draw lines. Select them, go to properties, and make them hidden. Ooh, I made them continuous, which they already were, hidden. And then I need to make the line type a construction line. So I'm going to offset. So, I need to make the line type here a center line. So I can just actually draw a line here and a line here and change the line type to center lines and just extend them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to properties, change this line type to center 2 and extend them. Let's start with a 1/4 inch and see what that does. That makes them visible. Nope, we're going to extend a little bit further to make that break visible. So another 0.125 inches in each direction, so a total of 0.375. Okay, good. So now when I select these, I'm going to extend by 0.375. 0.375. Okay. Now I have my center lines for this slot, and I have to do this one down here. Now I need to draw construction lines. I already have one set up for the center. I need to have construction lines set up in each direction. So what I can actually do is I can offset this construction line here by the radius of the circle in each direction. So this circle has a radius of diameter of 1 1/4, so a radius of 5/8. So I'll just do 5/8. And I'll offset it in each direction. If I did it right, it should line up with the edge of the circle, should be tangent to it, which it is. Great. Now I'll draw lines here. And I can select these 2 lines, go to properties, and make them hidden. And then I need a center line, so I'll use the center line command. And extend this by, let's try 0.25 inches. needs to be further. It seems like 0.375 is the magic number. To make the break appear, and there it is. Okay, so that looks like we're done, except for this line here. We need to still change to be a break line. So we're going to go to line type, change it to an AM zigzag 2. So we're going to end up with something that looks like a break line. And then let's just take our final look at it, turn off our construction lines, compare it to our freehand sketch, and make sure we have all of the details that it should, that everything looks like it's in the right spot, which it does. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson. What I want you to do now is take what I've shown you and apply it to the brush holder which you guys drew on Monday. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.